Hey campers, welcome back. I'm Sean.
And I'm Cassidy.
Today here at Cedar Springs Camp, it's a little bit overcast, and we're going to be talking about survival. Now, no matter what the weather is, it's important to have a plan and be prepared so that way you know what to do in a survival situation.
We know that it can be a little bit scary to be lost or in a survival situation, which is why we wanted to give you a couple of tools so that you can be cool and confident in any situation.
Right, cool and confident. Now, it's easy to get nervous or scared or disoriented or lost, and so that's why it's really important to keep your cool.
And what better way to keep your cool than using the 4 3s of survival?
Yes, the 4 3s. What are the 4 3s? Well, there's 4 things you need, and each of them have a 3. All right? So first of all, you need oxygen, you need shelter, you need water, and lastly, you need food.
Yes, so the first is oxygen. Did you know that after 3 minutes without oxygen, brain damage begins? And we need our brains in order to survive this situation, so oxygen is extremely important.
Right. Next, you need shelter. Did you know that in an extreme survival situation, like snow or extreme heat or even rain, you need a shelter within 3 hours? And that's because your body can become dangerously exposed to these elements.
So we understand that 3 hours might not seem like a lot of time to build a shelter, but we bet you can do it. And if you don't know how to build a shelter and want to learn, check out our shelter building video.
Right.
So the next 3 is water. Did you know that after 3 days without water, your body becomes dangerously dehydrated? It is the most critical time in a survival situation because of your dire need for water. Usually, if you can find water and warmth, you can survive long enough to be rescued.
Right. Now, water and shelter will get you a long way in a survival situation, but you're also going to need food. And you might be thinking, after 3 days, you're going to be starving. But the reality is, you can actually live up to 3 weeks without food. Although, let's face it, you're going to be really hungry if you wait that long.
Yeah. So that's the 4 3s. 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, and 3 weeks. 3 minutes for oxygen, 3 hours for shelter, 3 days for water, and 3 weeks for food. It's not that hard to remember.
And worth memorizing. These are all good things to remember when trying to keep your cool in a survival situation. And speaking of keeping your cool, what do you think is the most important tool in a survival situation?
Well, I don't think. I know what my most important tool is. And it's right up here.
That's right. Your brain is your most important survival tool. Always remember to keep your cool and think. And that leads us into our next survival tool, the acronym STOP.
The STOP method is what you should do if you are ever lost or in a survival situation. The S in STOP stands for sit down. Just calm down long enough to start the next step. The most dangerous thing you can do when you are lost in the wilderness is keep walking and get more lost. So sit down and stay put until you are calm. The T in the STOP method stands for think. Assess the situation. What is really going on? What are your priorities? What resources do you have? Use that most important tool, your brain, to think about what is happening and what you need to do next. The O in our STOP method stands for observe. Look around. What can be used to help you in this situation? What can you hear? Are you safe to stay where you're at? And if you are in a group, how are the others doing in your group? I know that this can be overwhelming, but if you are calm and have thought about what happens next, this observing step will help you quickly assess what is actually happening and what needs to happen next. The P in our STOP method stands for plan. Figure out a plan. Delegate jobs for those you are with if you are in a group, and if not, prioritize what needs to happen. Lay out the things you need to do first. A good plan that is laid out with what you need to do first should always come back to the 4 3s that we talked about just a few minutes ago.
These are great tips and tricks to use in a survival situation. The 4 3s. 3 minutes for oxygen, 3 hours for shelter, 3 days for water, and 3 weeks for food.
And don't forget the STOP method. Sit, think, observe, and plan.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, campers. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when we have new videos. And in the meantime, try memorizing these new survival tips.
Yes, memorizing is so important. Make sure that you like our video and leave us some comments. In episode 2 of Survival, we'll be talking about different tools you can use and the 10 essential items that you need to bring with you on every outdoor adventure. We'll see you next time. Woo! Drop script.